Okay, so I am going to do is I'm going to burn the weed barrier so that so that it doesn't fray, because it's already started to fray. And I'm putting boards down so that it doesn't go back further than where I'm wanting it to. Okay. And my husband brought me home a torch. Shut it off. Why are you not? Okay. My hose is under here, so I have to be careful. We put the post on the wrong side of the hose. But that's okay. You just gotta be careful not to burn the hose. And as you probably can hear, I live in the city, so we have sirens occasionally. So we already planted peas along here. So, and I did a row over there and I burned one of the peas. So, I just, okay, need to be careful of this hose that's running right along here. So I think what I'll do, and then I'll get in and do the rest. But I need to figure out where we poked the holes, because this one's not really in line with the other ones. Let's see what we can do here. Hose back. Our hose is right under these holes in part of this. Oops. Move it this way. We got a pin. You know, nothing's always smooth. I'm going to use one of these yard staples to move the hose over so I don't burn the hose. There. There we go. Okay. Now I'll move the hose back. These peas that have come up. some pea seeds that have come up. So I'll push those back down. Since I was out here working on the melting the weed barrier, I thought I'd just talk to you out here today. It's cool and rainy and just a little bit drizzly. It rained pretty good this morning, but now it's just kind of drizzly. So this week you get to see the neighbor and I starting some tomato seeds and cucumber and broccoli and cauliflower and basil. And so we got all those started. They have not come up yet, and I will take you on a little tour of the greenhouse in just a few minutes. But so I just wanted to say welcome to This Quiet Life. I'm Carrie, and I'm so glad you're joining me. We are getting really close, and when I say really close, I mean like a month away from being able to plant in the garden. But we have a lot of work to do before we get there. We, in the garden behind me on the ground, we need to do a new irrigation system. We've been using this one for about 7 years, 6 years, something like that. And so it's time to redo it, and we're going to trench it. And so we're going to put it underground this year. And so after we get that done, then we are going to put weed barrier over the garden. I think I did decide to go ahead and rototill this one section, and so we'll do that before we get the weed barrier down, and then once we get the weed barrier down, we're going to do some more torching of the weed barrier to plant with, and so I'll show you that when we get there. And the rain is starting to come down a little bit more civilly now, so I think I'm going to go inside and I will show you the plants in the greenhouse. And we did have one pea come up, but I accidentally torched it when I melted the plastic. So, but that's hopeful that more peas will be coming up soon. We do have about a month before our average last frost date. So, but we do have a lot of work to get done before then. We live in town, so sometimes people drive by and it's noisy. But what I was saying was, and it's coming down pretty good, so let's go inside. Okay, so while I show you what's growing in the greenhouse, I'll tell you what I was trying to say out there was that we have about a month till until we can plant. And so we have a lot of projects to get done before then, and so hopefully we can get all that done. So I was out here yesterday, and I swear to you, some of these did not have 2 in them when I was looking at them yesterday, because I separated a bunch to repot. So these are bell peppers, and these are poblanos. So I'm not gonna put those in there, but I do need to get a pot with dirt and mark them poblanos. And I smashed someone behind, so I need to work on those. But the poblanos and the jalapenos came up pretty good, as you can see. Those are poblanos also, but the bell peppers didn't do so well. And why I have a bell pepper in the middle of this, I'm not sure, because this is a poblano also. So, but my bell peppers did not do well. But I did find that the ones that did germinate, both seeds germinated. So I split those and put them in their own pots. So these 3 were ones that I separated and repotted. Those just don't look as healthy. And the cat is over here crawling around, and I don't know what she's doing. Crazy cat. But my onions have done really well, both kinds. The ones that are marked with white are the red onions, and then all the rest are Walla Wallas. So, and I did buy some geraniums the other day at the Fred Meyer Fuchsia event, and I just haven't gotten those potted yet because I can't put them out quite yet, and it's easier to water them this way than if I were to put them in a pot. So, but I do have the pots ready for them. So jalapenos, the bells didn't do so well. And then over here, so all of those that you just saw were ones that I am selling, except the onions. And these over here are mine, and then some go to a friend. So these are doing pretty well. I had to reseed some of the jalapenos, so they're a little bit smaller, but some of these jalapenos are good size. And then I've got leeks over here, and not all of them came up, but I have several in one, so I can separate those when I go to plant them out. And more peppers, so they're doing well. This one I got from Lowe's, and so it was getting pretty big, and the cat is walking through the plants. Excuse the video. She's just walking right through them. Oh, she's not supposed to do that. So I got this from Lowe's, and it was doing pretty good already and big, so I topped it so it would bush out a little bit more, and then we still have a month till this gets planted, so I'm probably gonna have to up pot that because this is the size we need them at this point, and this is way too big, so we're gonna have to repot that long before it's gonna go out. So some more leeks, and then these are all of our things that we started last week. And as you can see, nothing has come up yet, but that is normal. And I know the soil looks dry, but it is not. So, and then the neighbor's mother-in-law gave her a tomato plant, and so we've uppotted that once, and we're going to need to do it again before we can get it in the ground. So that's how things are going in the greenhouse. And for someone whose average last frost date is May 31st. This is about what your plants, or especially your peppers, should look like at this point. Because if they're bigger, you're going to end up having to up pot them before you can get them in the ground. Since I got kicked out of the garden with the rain, I thought I would wrap things up with you here. You may be asking why I'm using weed barrier even in my raised beds. And it's not just about preventing weeds. Because we have a short growing season, and because it tends to be cooler here, the weed barrier provides heat for the plants, and so they grow a little bit better if I have something black underneath them. Other places, something black underneath them would just totally scorch your plants, but here it actually helps them grow. So I did 2 years without that, and it just didn't work well for me. So we're gonna do that again. It also helps me not have to spend so much time weeding, which is really nice. So we will be doing weed barrier on the entire garden, including all the raised beds, except the strawberry bed. And the strawberry bed is full of grass right now, so I need to get out there and weed that. The neighbor came over and said that she would come help me do that. So the neighbor helps me with a bunch of the gardening, and we share the harvest. As you can see, I'm not wearing a Shop Forward shirt today. It's a little bit too cold out for me to just be out in a t-shirt, so got a sweatshirt on today, repping Yellowstone. We will have Yellowstone videos in the future, and eventually I will have a Yellowstone book written, a guide to Yellowstone, but
for now, you'll just have to either check out my blog that has tips and tricks for Yellowstone, or if you have questions about Yellowstone, you can ask me in the comments. I will be glad to help you. We visit Yellowstone quite a few times a year, and so we are pretty knowledgeable about visiting Yellowstone and the Tetons. So thanks for joining me. I'm so glad that you're coming along on this journey of gardening with me, and I hope to take you along on other journeys very soon. But for now, I hope you have an amazing day. And if you haven't subscribed, that would be amazing if you would do that. And like this video, that would help me so much. And again, have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys next week.